So here we are again, Austrian Airlines Lounge, Vienna Airport, 8 o'clock in the morning, waiting for my Etihad flight to Abu Dhabi and then on to Singapore. A little bit of a repeat of last time, if I'm honest, except for one big, exciting prospect. I'll be flying first class on the Abu Dhabi to Singapore leg on an A380, and quite honestly, I'm looking forward to that. Meanwhile, I'm going to tuck into some breakfast, and a cup of coffee, and relax. Off to Abu Dhabi, first leg of the trip, and so far we managed to throw the champagne. Looking phenomenal.
Yes, indeed. I thought I'd lost my passport, and in my hurry to try to find it, I managed to throw my champagne all over my seat. But that was fine. It got dried off, and a seat cover was put on, and a new glass of champagne was delivered, along with this amenity kit with toothbrush and earplugs and various creams, lotions and bits and pieces in a faux leather bag. And very nice too to take this home as a keepsake, and I gave it to my daughter in the end. So the first part of the trip was actually quite turbulent and service was continually interrupted. So it was quite a relief when we arrived somewhere over maybe Iran or Iraq and things settled down a bit. The first part was sort of uncomfortable, shall we say. But nonetheless, I did manage to get some sleep, service was excellent, food was excellent, and I have nothing at all to complain about other than a bit of a bumpy ride.
So things eventually calmed down a bit, and in fact I just had about an hour's sleep, which is pretty good, and we're now on our descent, just like that, into Abu Dhabi. So I'll try to get some shots of Abu Dhabi as we come in. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the next flight on to Singapore.
Zayed International is an amazing airport, extremely large, very Disney. But I was looking for the first class lounge for the next leg of my trip, and I soon found it. I was welcomed there with a personal escort to the first class area where I was explained what was there and how I could access it, and decided to start with a shower. I wasn't hungry, so I didn't take much food, and of course food there is prepared a la carte, which is a bit of a shame. It seemed like a waste, but I simply just wasn't hungry, and all I had was a glass of water and a cup of coffee in the end. But I did enjoy the shower in this marvellous bathroom. So I just had a nice shower in the first class lounge here, Etihad first class lounge. Awesome. That makes me feel a lot better and more prepared for my next flight to Singapore. Lovely. While not being one to sit, I decided I'd take a walk through the first class lounge and into the business class lounge and take a good look around. The business class lounge, to be honest, I prefer because it's self-service and there's more people there. I'm not made for first class. I'm a working class kid from Hull, and all the attention begins to aggravate me after a while. So I kind of preferred the business class lounge, but I can see that the first class lounge was true luxury, and well done to Etihad for the services that they provide there. From the lounge, you can actually access a couple of the gates, including the one that we were going to take to go to Singapore on the A380. And after a good old look around the lounges, I was ready to experience a first-class Etihad apartment on the A380, which has to be my favourite airplane. It's an absolutely sensational piece of technology and engineering, and it flies so gracefully for its size.
بقاء جالسين وإبقاء أنظمة المقاعد غير مربوطة. تذكروا بأن التدخين بجميع أنواعه شاملا أدوات التدخين الإلكترونية ممنوع منعا باتا في جميع مرافق الطائرة بما في ذلك دورة المياه. شكرا. For our guests that join us, welcome aboard. As we are refueling the aircraft.
Once aboard and taken to my suite, I was inundated with stewardesses coming to see me, talking about the services, talking about the amenities, telling me what was going to happen, asking me what I wanted. The menu was wonderful. The only thing that kind of worried me was that the movies were all the same as the previous trip, but I don't really watch movies on a plane anyway. The apartment was absolutely sensational, and I had a good old look around, spoilt for choice as to where to sit, and lots of hidden cubby holes with free drinks and that kind of thing. This particular piece of furniture was where all the amenities were, and a bag to put them in, I guess, but I didn't take them. I left them where they were. I didn't need them, having got the bag on the previous flight. I was very, very impressed with the level of comfort and the level of service. Like I said, being a lad from Hull, at times it was a bit over the top for me and made me feel a bit uncomfortable. Nonetheless, I was ready for our long flight to Singapore, and hoping that I would experience caviar for the first time in my life, which I did, and I really did like it. It was not at all fishy and tasted pretty good. The food was exquisite. It was served as I requested it. I was offered a shower in the morning, 5 minutes of hot water, lush white towels, everything clean. I was given pajamas. I was given something to wear over the pajamas. The bed was made for me and removed for me. It was like being in a different world, quite honestly.
It's funny because I don't really feel like I belong. I'm just a working class kid from home. What am I doing on first class on Etihad? You know, why not? For the channel and just for the experience. It actually didn't cost me much over the business class airfare. And I feel like a rock star just for once in my life. Not bad. Well, maybe quibble number one would be that the entertainment system is the same videos that was on the previous flight, films rather. I have no interest in any of them, so I'm watching the map. Slow progress.
As I said earlier, I've never had caviar. In fact, I don't really like fishy stuff. Fish and chips maybe, and canned tuna. That's about the limit of my fish consumption. But I have to say, I really did enjoy it. It came with all kinds of stuff to eat it with, and it was delicious. So I had a first experience in first. Well, the caviar was followed by more fish, this time salmon, which I really did enjoy. I do like a piece of salmon, I must say. And then I was brought some sorbet and enjoyed the sorbet as well. For the main course, I was having steak, and the steak was perfectly done, extremely tasty, and served with all kinds of side dishes. And then finally, I had some kind of pistachio cake, which I also enjoyed. I then went off and to the bathroom, and when I came back, the bed was made up and I was ready to retire for the evening. It wasn't, however, to be a long sleep. I'd asked to be woken 2 hours before landing in order to take a quick shower, which I duly did, and to have breakfast. I ordered the omelette. Again, I was really too full to eat this breakfast. I managed a bit of the omelette, but other than that, I was absolutely stuffed. I'm sure I put weight on the flight, absolutely convinced of it, in fact.
been a really interesting night. After dinner, they made the bed for me. While I went to the bathroom, when I came back, the bed was all made up. I had a couple of hours of sleep. They woke me up this morning in time so that I could go and have a shower. Unfortunately, I didn't take any camera to the shower, but it was a really good shower. Hot, strong, very nice. Great way to start a new day. And by the time I came back, the bed was all cleared away and my breakfast was ready. Perfect service from these ladies at Etihad. Absolutely amazing staff. And now we're just about an hour out from Singapore. It's already daylight out there, and my first class trip is almost over. I'm going to have to do this again. I really am.
I suppose in retrospect, the entire thing seemed like a dream. It was over before it began. I really felt like I didn't have time to appreciate everything. I didn't have time to appreciate the food, the service, the facilities or anything. Everything was a new experience, and therefore, again, it just felt like one thing went quickly to another, and before I knew it was all over and we were landing in Singapore, which is a great way to shorten a long trip, of course, but I do feel like I need to do it again, at least one more time, to really appreciate and enjoy the quality of service that Etihad provides its first-class customers. I was also given this memento of my first-class trip, and Etihad provides a number of these, a sort of collectible set, I guess, and each time you fly first class you get to pick one until you've got the set. An incentive, I guess. And then we were descending into Singapore, and my trip was almost over. I will say this though, I felt better on arrival than the last time. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for sharing my first-class international trip at the age of almost 66 with me. If you enjoyed this video, do please subscribe, share, like. It helps. There'll be plenty more videos of various types on this channel in the coming months. Thank you so much. Goodbye.